Hi friends, my name is Jacqueline Rose and this is my energy oracle reading for the week of the 12th. Happy Easter to anybody that's celebrating. Today I drew 3 cards for you. So the first one is Horus, Cosmic Gateways. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Mystical changes are occurring. Second card is Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. How pretty is that, right? And then the third card is Experiments. Manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty, and the pursuit of knowledge and ignorance. Look how scary that card is, right? Okay, so I'm going to read the first 2 messages to you. You are loved, lovable, and loving. The energy of love is surrounding your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you are finding it challenging to feel loved at this time, it is important for you to give yourself credit where credit is due. You are also encouraged to welcome and support from others. Learn to receive. Don't try and do anything on your own. If you are working on a relationship or in a new relationship, this card can usher in the energies that allow you to forge a power of connection with your partner. Love is in the air. And then Horus. You are connected to the universe and have the abilities to manifest the marvelous experiences. Your thoughts, your words, your actions are like magnets drawing energy to create and cultivate your world. You have a stellar gateway chakra above your head, a vortex of energy that is influencing your own energy. You can place ideas into this vortex to create what you are seeking. The universe also offers guidance and abundant support and healing based on your capability to connect to it and accept it. You have a real opportunity to further your connections now by sending prayers and intentions into the cosmos. Okay, so what it speaks to me is because I sent out a message this week about how love will fix everything, and I truly believe that. And it's interesting because this card really turned the message around for me. When I read the message to this is a lot of like manipulation going on in the world right now. A lot of people being greedy for their own wants and needs, doing experiments for the pursuit of their own greed and their ignorance. And I see that going on and have seen it going on in our world probably for hundreds of years, but I've been seeing it go on a lot, or I've been awakened to that, the manipulation of people, the control of people. If you don't know, I believe there's 6 people or 6 main companies that control all media. So what that means is they control the narrative. So meaning we're all being programmed by whatever we're watching and listening to. And that's not conspiracy, that's just the truth. There's certain companies that own this media. And so whatever narrative they want to give you, they can. And that's why right now there's a lot of fear-based stuff being pumped into us. And I feel like, the correction of that is the card of love. And that's why when I got this card, I thought it was going to be a love reading, but obviously it's not. Just saw 4:20 on the clock, if that resonates with anybody. I think that for us to shift our world or in your own internal world too, because I think a lot of us are aware of hopefully you're aware of the manipulation that's going on in the planet and amongst the people. It's all programming of a certain idea, if it's fear or if it's this politics or this sports team or whatever. It's all a type of programming to you to believe in one way or another, whatever they want you. As long as they keep us arguing with each other, they have control. whoever they are, okay? And so when we focus on love and understand the manipulation, then, and it's saying in the Horus card that our thoughts are magnetic. So in your own world, if you're not focusing on love and you're not realizing how a lot of things are manipulating your reality, then you can go into a downward spiral. So that's why I always say that love is so important, to have the center of everything be loving. That is a challenge. I tell people it is very challenging when you're in situations that you do not feel loving to switch that, to say things that are loving. It's challenging for me, okay? So I know it has to be challenging for other people. And in this grand situation that we're dealing with in the world, we want to blame and we want to point fingers, but the reason why we're in this is because of our own doing. We've either been programmed to believe a certain way and just went with it, but it's our own doing. We put ourselves in this situation, and the only way to get ourselves out of this situation is be loving towards everybody. And that's in your inner world. When conflicts showing up in my life, which they do just like everybody else, it is definitely a challenge to be more loving. But really, when you're more loving and vulnerable is what really solves all problems. And if you encounter somebody that cannot handle that loving, and the word that came to mind is blunt. To be blunt, but to be loving is definitely an art form. And I am working on that art form. But I think that's what we need in the world. We need to be blunt with what our problems are. And then what is the most loving next action for everybody involved? And I think this is our hard pill to swallow that we're swallowing right now. But the only way that we're going to solve all the problems is if we can really keep in mind everybody involved, the whole world, the planet, everything. And I think that's what these cards are saying. I mean, this experiment cards really tells me of like the past times of experimenting with people and experimenting with their thoughts. If you really, really understood human behavior and how easy it is to manipulate people, because I'm fascinated with human behavior, this is what I really spend a lot of my time doing, is looking into human behavior. It's easy to manipulate the masses real quickly. It's easy to manipulate somebody going, well, they're doing something wrong. Let me point the finger. It's y'all's fault. When we really take accountability is that we've all put ourselves in this situation. So it's all of our faults. So out with whoever's fault it is. Stop arguing about that. Quit arguing about whose fault it is, and let's get to the solution in the most loving way. And so when I saw these cards, it says that, your thoughts are creating your reality, and that's why it's so important to focus on what you're thinking about. If you're really fear-based and you think that we're going into this pandemic, and I've heard some people think it's gonna like the doomsday preppers, and I've heard a lot of these different perspectives, and depending on the perspective that you believe, your beliefs is where you put your energy. So you're going to live in the world of like, this is the end of days, right? And I want to give respect to everybody's perspective. Whatever you believe is fine. But we need to put our energy into, because right now on the planet, it's a very, what's the words? It's a very high energy time, and we can really, really create our reality with our thoughts. So if your thoughts are going to fear in your world and amongst the world, just think about that. If everybody is in fear and thinking it's one scenario, our actions will go into that one scenario. But if everybody's in a different state of love, thinking that, hey, we're, this is the times where the systems are breaking down so we can build a new system, then our actions will go in this direction. And that's how your thoughts create your reality, because of your thoughts, you are putting actions in one basket or another. So it's saying right now that right now is a very, very high energy time. So we have to really be diligent about where we're putting our energy and our thoughts. This card, there has been a lot of manipulation going on this earth for hundreds and hundreds of years, manipulating the people. manipulating the way they think, pinning against us, or pinning each other against each other, or pinning us against each other. And when you keep people constantly, it's your fault, whatever, you get nothing done. And we've seen nothing be done for years, right? And so now it's time to stop pointing fingers, understand we're all in this together, and we've all created this with our energy and our thoughts. And so how do we get ourselves out of it? And one way that you can do this in your own life, even if you're in your own scenario, and there's been manipulation in your relationship, there's been manipulation in your job, there's been manipulation, you want to start creating in your mind first with your thoughts of your best case scenario, what your best life would look like. Okay, even it's going to be the hardest in the midst of all of this stuff. But if you can go, okay, I've lost my job. Now I have the opportunity to get another job that may pay me well. Or now I have the opportunity to get a loan from the government so I can go to school, whatever. We always want to go in the best case scenario. And that's with overall what's going on in the world. I hope this resonates with somebody, because at first I thought it was just going to be a love reading and like, oh, you're manifesting love and you got to make sure that, this is the best case scenario for your love life. But when I saw the dark card, it made me really think about the manipulation of the people, them, right? The manipulation. If I'm all about human behavior. I love the psyche. I love human behavior, but I see how people get manipulated because of their belief structures or whatever they picked up as a child. Well, my mom and my dad did this, so this is the way I see things. So you live your whole life in that world, in that perspective. We got to get out of that, right? I hope this resonates. Much love.